All right, good afternoon, everyone. I am Michael DeVoli from ACS CAN. Thank you all for tuning in today. Here with me, we have
Christy Manso, State Lead Ambassador, New York State.
And Lucy Miller, Grassroots Manager, Volunteer Integration for New York Metro.
Welcome. So what we're going to do for you guys today is demonstrate a few examples of different legislative meetings in preparation for the 2016 ACS Cancer Action Week here in New York City. But these examples are things that you can use anytime. What we're going to try to demonstrate for you are examples that you can use for any meetings that you do. We're going to give you a few different examples today. Starting off with our first one is going to be an example of me being the constituent, Christy being our council member, and Lucy being a sort of supportive staff person that is in the room with me, but not really sort of talking.
So what you might find is that since you all come from all different areas of the city, we talked about this on our training calls, but you might find that you're the only one who signed up from your district. And as promised, we're not going to send you to any of these meetings alone. So in the first scenario, that's exactly what that would look like. Mike is going to be the constituent, and I'm going to be a member of ACS CAN or ACS staff who would accompany you along to the meeting just to make sure that you feel like you have some support if there are questions and anything that you might not have prepared for. So with that, Mike and I are going to get up and we're going to take it from the very tippy top of your meeting. Shall we?
All right.
All right.
We can just stand. All right, so we'll come on in. Hi. Michael DeVoli from ACS CAN.
Nice to meet you.
Lucy Miller, ACS CAN.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving us a chance to come talk to you.
Sure.
So to start, my name is Michael DeVoli. I'm a volunteer with the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, ACS CAN. So we are the advocacy affiliate of the American Cancer Society.
Okay.
And I'm a constituent of yours. I live on East 53rd Street, right on the corner by the Quickie Mart Bodega.
Yeah.
So,
okay, wonderful.
My name is Lucy Miller. I am one of the staff members for the ACS CAN team here in New York, and I'm here to join Mike on his meeting as we talk to you today. So thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us, Councilmember.
Great. And so before we begin, I just want to share. So while I personally am not, I do not have cancer. I've not had cancer. I am a proud father of a 4-year-old little girl, and she is my motivation. She is the reason why I'm here today. I've had grandparents, I've had family members that have had cancer. And I think every single day about how I want my daughter to grow up in a world without cancer. I don't want her to ever have to experience what so many of us have experienced and stuff. So she's my motivation, she's my inspiration, and she's why I'm here today.
It's a good motivation.
So I will spare, while I do have photos in my wallet, I'll spare taking the photo out because I don't want to get too emotional. So maybe later.
She's very cute.
So let me, so just to start off, and I'm gonna, so I'll show, so the packet here in front of you has sort of everything here, and I'm a little nervous. I've never done this before. I'm a volunteer, so that's why Lucy's here to sort of support me. But
one team.
Wonderful.
So just to give you a little bit of background information, you'll see in the big blue box here, we kind of color-coded this to make it really easy to digest. You'll see some background information. 75,000 new cancer cases are diagnosed in New York City alone every single year. And approximately 25,000 New Yorkers will lose their lives to cancer in New York City alone every single year. And if you think about it, 25,000 people, and you would think that would be front page of the New York, papers every single day. But unfortunately it's not, but that's why we're here. Tobacco use remains the #1 cause of preventable death here in New York City, preventable disease and death in New York City. More than 7,500 New Yorkers die from smoking-related illnesses every year in New York City. So not just cancer, but just all smoking-related illnesses. And a final just sort of background point, or 2 background points, 1/3 of all cancers are tobacco-related. and a third of all cancers are obesity related. And so for those reasons, what we're going to talk to you about today are around some tobacco issue, obesity related issue, and then also I'm going to touch upon a cancer screening related issue. Okay. So just to start, if you look at the sort of green box here, approximately 1 out of every 5 kids in New York City are either obese or overweight. And despite the academic, developmental, and physical benefits of physical education programming in schools, New York City has failed for years to deliver quality and regular physical education to many of its students. And you know, if you went to school here in New York City, I'm willing to bet that you've experienced that yourselves. So in an effort to turn this around, Mayor de Blasio has proposed a $9 million increase in a $9 million expansion of physical education programming in New York City that will provide full-time physical education teachers in 150 schools, along with support staff, coaches, and managers to help implement this new program. The program will grow to approximately $40 million a year by 2019 and will result in the hiring of 500 new full-time PE teachers here in New York City. Okay. And so what we are asking for you to do is support Mayor de Blasio's proposal to spend $9 million a year this current year to allow for him to hire 150 new full-time certified PE teachers.
Okay. What else are we? So that's one.
So that's one. So the next two items. So you'll see the purple box here is around tobacco. So the New York City Bureau of Tobacco Control is the program that helps New Yorkers quit and helps kids from beginning the deadly tobacco addiction in the first place. The New York City Bureau of Tobacco Control, it's the program that pays for all of those television ads, the cutting edge, the radio ads, the real graphic stuff that really sort of hits home and discourages people from smoking. Since 2010, unfortunately, the New York City Tobacco Control budget has been cut by 45%. And now stands at only $7.1 million. Now, despite significant gains in the battle against big tobacco, these budget cuts have contributed to significant disparities among the more than 900,000 New Yorkers that are still continuing to smoke. And so that is why we are asking for the city to increase funding, and that's the big purple box there, to the Bureau of Tobacco Control program to $13 million annually.
Wow, that 900,000 number is surprising to me.
Yeah, and
that many people still continue to smoke in the city. I was not aware.
And you know, if you think about it, everyone used to know people that smoked, and a lot of us just don't know people that smoke anymore. But that doesn't mean that people are not smoking. There's still a tremendous amount, and we need to do everything in our power to help them. Yeah. And that's why, you know, if you go back to the number I said in the beginning in the big blue box about 7,500 people dying from tobacco-related illness is a real big deal. Yeah. So the third ask is the big red box here, and that is around cancer screening. Everybody knows that cancer screening saves lives. The New York City, and this is a lot of words here, the New York City Cancer Prevention and Control Program at the Department of Health works to promote mammograms, cervical cancer, and colorectal cancer screenings at no cost to the uninsured. That's the key, at no cost to the uninsured. This cancer screening program has helped more than 500,000 patients in the past decade. Increasing funding for the program would allow for a comprehensive media campaign, broader screening programs and other efforts that directly promote cancer screening and ultimately save lives. The program currently receives only $750,000.
Okay.
We are asking that the program see an increase in its budget so that way the program receives $1.5 million a year.
Okay.
So those are the three asks. So increasing funding for physical education programming, increasing funding for the tobacco control program, and increasing funding for cancer screening here in New York City.
So, thank you for bringing all this information to my attention. I really, really appreciate it. As many of us, you know, I've a history of cancer in my family, so I appreciate you for doing this work. It's very important work, especially, you know, I come from a family of educators, so the physical education piece is very interesting to me, and I have recently heard about it. I am supportive of each of these. However, these are all budget asks, so we have to be realistic as well. I need to confer with my colleagues. Obviously, when we ask for more money somewhere, something else goes away, so I have to look at what that is. But I am supportive, and we'll get to work on this. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. And so just to show you, so also in the packet here, there is a fact sheet with more details on each of the actual proposals.
Okay,
so
great.
there's a fact sheet on cancer screening in New York City, and on the program, a fact sheet on the tobacco control program, which actually shows the numbers and how much money the program has been getting over the years, and stuff. So you can see how it's been declining.
Yes.
And then there's a fact sheet around the physical education programming, so you can see specifically. So
Great.
just to
Thank
give you
you.
a little more background.
Okay.
And then the very last thing, I'll just to show you. So this invitation here. So ACS CAN is sponsoring a cancer research breakfast on June 1st. We're going to have some of the leading cancer researchers in the country, you know, coming together for this breakfast. There will be featured speakers from Memorial Sloan Kettering, from NYU, as well as the commissioner for the New York City Department of Health.
Okay.
Will be speaking. We would love for you to attend as our guest. You do not need to pay. We just need to, if you would like to attend, we just need to know, and we'll put your name down. You and if you have any of your staff members that would like to attend, you're welcome to, and we could follow up with your office directly on that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the invite. I appreciate it.
Great.
Have to check schedules, but yes, I will reach out to my scheduler, and yes, if you guys could follow up, that would be wonderful.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman.
Now, did I forget anything?
No, I think you got everything, and I'm glad to hear that you're supportive of everything, barring any, you know, barring your own research, of course. But thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us.
And I will just add on one side note, we have a Relay for Life event coming up in near you relatively soon. I'm drawing a blank of the date on the top of my head. But we can get to the information. We would love it if you were to join us at the Relay for Life event, just to show your support.
Yeah,
for
reach
the
out
fight
to
against cancer.
reach out to my staff with the information, and
Perfect.
Great.
and we'll get back to you.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate
So
it.
very nice
Have a
to
good
meet
day.
you.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a great
afternoon.
Okay.
All right. Here, hold on a second.
Oh,
So
God.
we're gonna pause it. So for those of you that are still paying attention, are still watching sort of ACS CAN TV. Hi, Mom. So that is an example of a very simple flow sort of meeting with a council member who is generally supportive but non-committal. And the truth is that's what you're going to get for the most part. We are not asking these folks to support things that they're going to be like adamantly opposed to or anything like that, but they're more than likely just not going to be able to be committal, be able to commit. That was an example of a sort of one person talking where Lucy was there primarily to support. And in a lot of the cases, that's going to be the case. The point I just want to mention, in your packets that you will receive from us, you will get this information.
And this is in your training materials that you've already received.
Yes. And it is verbatim to what is in the lawmakers' packets, color-coded for you. And you may be wondering, how did I learn all of that information, or how did I memorize all of that? What I want you to understand is everything that I said, word for word, what I said is on the flyer themselves. The purpose of these flyers is meant to be a simple talking point. You do not need to try to become an expert on the issue. You just need to be comfortable and confident presenting the talking points and doing so with sort of passion and heart behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you learn to present the points, you'll be fine. And the last thing to mention, if you'll notice what I did was, so that way I didn't feel like I was staring at my page, I would point the council member to the very specific points on the page that I was talking about. So that way when the council member was looking at the page themselves, looking at the different boxes, I could then be looking at my own box and making sure that I was staying right on message and not sort of drifting off, sort of kind of off script and potentially misspeaking. So.
And I want to point out that Mike followed the exact agenda that you got in your training materials, which, as we talked about on our training calls, follows that hook, line, and sinker method. So he went right through, introduced himself, reminded them where he lived, introduced ACS CAN, gave a personal anecdote as to why he's involved in this cause, but then got right to the point and right to the issues and was very respectful of both his time and the council members' time. So again, feel free to review those steps, but they are very helpful in sort of helping to frame up this agenda.
All right, so we're going to pause now and we'll